Cutting out. So that's as low as I can go. I don't know what's going on tonight. Is it the Wi Fi? Settings. Settings. Oh, that's what's going on. All right. I'm back. I changed Wi Fi networks. Hopefully that'll help. I don't know. Phone's acting really weird tonight, so I guess I could put it out here near the window, see if that helps. I don't know. Josh, can you hear me? We're good? How about the mic number two? You can hear this one? Hello? Hello? We good? Dude, we are cutting out horribly. All right. We are might be screwed, buddy. Wi-Fi off. All right, let's try this now. Password. He's probably like, where did he go? All right, I'm back. I turned the Wi-Fi off. There we go. That should help. I don't know what was going on with the Wi-Fi, but I kept dropping, so I just changed it. And pretending. Test, test. All right, here we go. And welcome into Frickers in Fremont. My name is Kyle Knight, as we are here, as always, on Wednesday night, Frickers in Fremont for the high school football coaches show. We have a great show on tap tonight. Josh Frederick running our video. And, of course, you can always watch the show by going to our YouTube page, following Eagle 99 WFRO, or, of course, going to Facebook and clicking on the link, and you can see the show there. Or, of course, listen along on Eagle 99 or WFROradio.com. On tonight's show, coming up in just a little bit, we'll talk to Josh Waring about St. Joe's big win over their arch rivals, St. Mary's, on Saturday night. A last-second two-point conversion win for the Crimson Streaks. We'll talk about that with head coach Josh Waring. Then it is Lakota night, so we'll be joined by the head coach, Ryan Lozier. Also be joined by four members tonight of the Raider football team. After that, we'll have a trip to Gibsonburg, talk to Shane Dyer, the first-year head coach of the Golden Bears, and we'll wrap it up with Chad Long as they begin conference play this week on Friday night when the Little Giants take on Sylvania Southview. You'll hear that game on Eagle 99 with a pregame show 6:30 Friday night, kickoff at 7. And again, that game is at Sylvania Southview. That'll be the conference opener for the Little Giants. And here, or I should say on sister station 92.1 The Wolf, it is Edison at Clyde. And Nick and I will have that game on Friday night. Pregame show 6:30 and kickoff 7 o'clock. Frickers, of course, is the home of the MLB playoffs. Come on out and enjoy the playoffs tonight. Right now, the Yankees and Red Sox are tied at 2. Of course, the Guardians came back to score 6 runs in the 8th inning today, and actually 5 runs, I should say, in the 8th inning to win the game 6-1, and they force Game 3 tomorrow. Now, right now, first pitch is set for 1 whatever, but there is a chance that game will get moved to tomorrow afternoon or evening. So they will decide that later on. Let's look at what's happened so far in high school football before we talk with head coach Josh Waring. Let's look at the SBC Lake Division. Right now, the undefeated teams include Columbian and Perkins. We're talking conference play here. They're both 3-3 overall. Norwalk is yet to play a conference game. Coming up in the Lake Division this week, Columbian will be at Norwalk, Edison at Clyde, and Perkins is at Sandusky. In the SBC Bay Division, Edison and Huron right now are both undefeated at 1-0. Vermilion has yet to play a conference game, although they're 4-2 overall. Friday night in the SBC Bay Division, we'll have Edison at Clyde, Huron at Bellevue, and Port Clinton at Vermilion. In the SBC River Division, a big game coming up on Friday night. I'll tell you why. The Margaretta Polar Bears and the Hopewell Loudon Chieftains hook up. Both are 3-0 right now in conference play. I saw Margaretta play Friday night at Woodmore. They are really good. They are really fast, and they have a lot of team speed. So we'll see how that one works out on Friday night when those two teams get together at Hopewell. Also this week in the SBC River Division, Calvert at Northwood, Margaretta, as we said, at Hopewell, Willard at Lakota, and Woodmore at Gibsonburg. And in the Firelands Conference, Crestview is currently undefeated with a 3-0 record on top of the Firelands. Monroeville also undefeated at 3-0. And coming up Friday night, Mapleton at Monroeville, Plymouth at New London, St. Paul is at Crestview, and Western Reserve at South Central. And in the N8, St. Joe picked up a huge win on Saturday night over their rival St. Mary's, 29-28. And we're going to talk all about that with head coach Josh Waring coming up in just a little bit. This weekend in the N8, the games include Cardinal Stritch at Holgate, Danbury at Sebring, McKinley. St. Joe is at Stryker this week, and St. Mary's will be at Chalker. By the way, Stryker's off to a 2-4 start on the year. Quickly, let's look at the playoff picture, and then we'll take our first break and come back with head coach Josh Waring of the St. Joe Crimson Streaks in Division 2, Region 6. Right now, the Little Giants, they need to be in the top 12 to have a playoff game. Right now, they are sitting 14th, but they have 4 conference games ahead of them. They will gain computer points if they keep winning, and they should be in good shape to be in the playoffs. As I said, top 12 this year will get into the playoffs. Right now, Avon Lake is holding on to that 12th position. In Division 4, Region 14, the Shelby Whippets have been fantastic. Nobody's catching them for the number 1 spot. Perkins has finally worked their way into the playoffs. They are currently in the 9th position, and Bellevue 1 spot out of the playoffs right now at 13th. Clyde currently sitting 19th. In Division 5, Region 18, Liberty Center right now is the number 1 team. Edison is 4th in Division 5, Region 18. Oak Harbor currently 6th after they fell to Genoa on Friday night. Port Clinton 15th, and Willard is 20th. And finally, in Division 7, Region 26, the Gibsonburg Golden Bears find themselves in the playoffs right now at the 8th position. In fact, they'd host a playoff game if the playoffs started this weekend. And then Calvert right now out of the playoffs at the 15th spot. So we'll take our first time out. We'll come back and talk St. Joe football with head coach Josh Waring. We'll talk about their huge win on Friday night over rival St. Mary's Central Catholic. So make sure you're watching us on YouTube or listening in on the World Wide Web or live on Eagle 99. We're live from Frickers in Fremont, where kids always eat free. It's steak night as well. You can get steak and a side for $9.99. Where else can you do that but Frickers in Fremont? We'll take our first break and come on back. You're listening to the High School Football Coaches Show, live on YouTube and also on Eagle 99 WFRO. And welcome back into Frickers in Fremont. Kids always eat free here at Frickers, and some of them are joining us in the play area here as they're playing some games. Joining me now, Josh Waring, head football coach of the St. Joe Crimson Streaks. And first of all, Josh, that had to feel pretty good on Saturday night.
It was a long time coming, and it was the best feeling I've had coaching in my career. It was great.
So let's talk about the whole game, and then we'll get to like the 2-point conversion.
Yeah.
But you win 29-28.
Yep.
Just talk about the game for me. And again, this is over your rival, St. Mary's. So.
Yeah, I mean, we knew that, the kids were extremely focused. Everybody, the coaches did a great job. It was a great atmosphere, great, beautiful night, weather-wise. I always told them the whole week. I said, and I used to watch wrestling back in the day, and one quote I remember, it says, "To be the man, you have to beat the man."
Yep.
And that's true.
Right.
I mean, if you want to be the guy, you got to beat the guy. And team, in our respect, obviously. But and they really came together and took it on themselves. There was a boost of confidence throughout the game. They're starting to believe.
Okay.
Come together. Yeah.
Right.
So the belief is there. And
well, how nice is that to see that belief keep growing instead of like a little bit of apprehension, if you will?
Yep.
So, I mean, that's got to feel great as a head coach. If it probably feels like you're obviously heading where you want this program to be.
Yeah, we're heading in the right direction. The big thing we're focusing on this week is humility.
Yeah.
Be humble.
Right.
You did a great thing, but we're not over. We want to play 12 games this year.
Mm-hmm.
And why I told the kids we're halfway through. And did we get a big win? Yes. But the work's not done.
Right.
And it's back to the drawing board. Get ready for this week and enjoy it. I always tell the kids to enjoy the weekend, the victory. But come Monday, it's time to go.
So you win 29-28. You get a 2-point conversion late from what I read in the paper.
That's correct.
So kind of set that up for me.
Well, we drove down, and things went our way.
Mm-hmm.
They really did. The man upstairs had his shoulder on. It felt that way.
Right.
I had a.
I just find it funny because you got 2 Catholic schools playing
I know.
each other. You know what I mean?
I know. You had to pick one. But I had an unusual calm all week, and it's unusual, because I'm always nervous about everything, and we're just gonna go out and let it, see what happens and get after it. And the kids, stepped up and really, tenacity the entire game.
Right.
Not just one drive, not just the entire 48 minutes. So we went down and scored, with less than a minute remaining. And I was talking to one of the assistant coaches, and there's not many opportunities to have the number 1 team on the ropes with an opportunity to win.
Mm-hmm.
And all the kids came off the field and said, "We're going for 2." They're going for. They wanted it before I could even ask.
Right.
They're going, and so we did.
That's awesome.
And it was a tight window. And Zach Ohms, our quarterback, who had a phenomenal game and really led us in the right direction. Just flipped it to Andrew Spildenner for that 2-point conversion. And I couldn't believe it. I mean, it was exciting.
Now, how much time was left then when you kicked off?
Right around, I want to say, like 35 seconds.
Did that feel like
that.
an eternity?
Oh, of course. I'm trying to get the guys back in, deeper coverage.
Right.
And they're still creeping up. I said, "Get back." And it was nail biting at the end. Sure was.
Josh Waring, St. Joe head coach, joining us after their big win over St. Mary's Central Catholic, 29-28. This is the first time this year St. Mary's has been beaten.
Correct.
And they were sitting in that 1 seed position. Yep. And so this is big, too, because we always talk about you want to play in the postseason. You got to be a top 4 seed, right?
Correct.
And this is going to be big for you.
It should be. I mean, we should, hopefully we take care of business week in and week out to get us that best possible seed in the playoff. Obviously, we want to host a playoff game.
Right.
And you got to be the top 2 to do that.
So right now we talked that Danbury loss did not count.
Correct.
I mean, it counted, but don't get me wrong.
Right.
In the conference, it didn't count.
Correct.
So is your conference record right now 3-1? Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay. So according to this is Sandusky Register, Chalker right now is the only undefeated team in conference play.
Yes.
And overall, they're 3-0 and 5-0. Then St. Mary's and you and Danbury all have 1 loss.
That's correct.
So that's what's happened. So it's a tight window, and you still, of course, have to play Danbury in a couple weeks, and we won't get our cart before our horse. But let's talk about this week. You travel to Stryker,
Yes.
and Stryker right now is sitting at 1-3 and 2-4 overall. So tell me about them a little bit.
They've got size. They really do. They're a bigger ball club. They run the ball pretty effectively with their quarterback as well. And so, our job is, we're going to bring pressure. We're going to, try to get in gaps and try to, make some big plays. I believe we have, the athletic advantage, and we're going to use it to our advantage.
I saw a game Friday night. I did the Woodmore and Margaretta game.
Yes.
And you had size against speed.
Yes.
And in that game, you don't know, but speed won out.
Yeah.
But I was really impressed with Margaretta. I'm actually really looking forward to seeing what happens with Hopewell this week, just to see if they can play with them a little bit.
Well, the nice thing is that it's on Hearts of Ohio. I mean, you get to watch it on.
Right.
We do that. I do that with some of my coaches every Friday night. We're because we always play on Saturday.
Right, you're always on Saturday.
So we're watching something.
Yes.
On Friday night, which is great.
I always watch when I get home.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
From
sure.
my football games.
Sure.
So I was usually watch my alma mater, Hillsdale, play because they've been really good of late. And we won't talk about that state championship game. Anyway, Stryker, how far a road trip is that going to be for you?
That's about an hour and a half.
Okay, not too bad.
Yeah, it's not too bad. It's due east or west. Excuse me.
And I should mention you'll play at 6. Is that correct?
Yes.
Oh, not 7 o'clock on.
Correct.
Okay.
It'll be 6 o'clock on Saturday.
I'm sure your parents would know that if they're traveling.
Yeah.
And then the next couple weeks, Kennedy Catholic. They're
Yes.
out of Hermitage, PA.
Yep.
They're coming to you, though.
That is correct.
Did you go there last year?
We have not. They're
okay.
new to the league.
Okay.
And it's in Pennsylvania, like you say, and it's actually a Sunday afternoon game.
Oh, okay.
It's
10-12. Okay.
It's our homecoming, and 2 p.m. like they used to back in the 60s, 70s.
Okay.
They used to play on Sunday afternoons.
So everybody goes to church and then goes to the football game afterward.
That's the plan.
Okay. That's wonderful. Then you have the Danbury game is at Lakeside.
That's home.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Okay, it is at home.
Yep.
I'm sorry.
That's
and
fine.
then Cardinal stretches at Cardinal. So you got 2 home and 2 away.
Yes.
And then, as we said, the top 4 teams make the playoffs. Have they decided, last time I asked you, you didn't know, last year the state championship was in Fremont. Have they decided this year where the state championship is?
I believe they have, and it's Latonia, if I'm not mistaken, which is very far to the east.
Okay.
Depending on who's in the championship game, perhaps that can get changed.
Let me just
but we'll
ask
see.
if it's like a combination of you, St. Mary's, and Danbury, would you have to travel? Like if it's, you'd still have to go all that way, even if it's 2 of those 3 teams.
Correct.
Okay.
I mean, they determine where it's going to be held beforehand. Everything
Okay.
happens. So, yeah, but hey, if we're lucky enough to get there, we'll
You'll play anywhere,
we'll
won't you?
gladly go.
When you're playing for a state championship, you play on the moon, I'm sure. So this week, you talked about humility. I
Yep.
think you used that word earlier. I
Correct.
like that word. Have the kids been showing you humility this week in practice?
They have. We had a good practice this afternoon. I'm looking for the focus. By no means did we play a perfect game against St. Mary's. We were lucky to win. But we have to build. We have to eliminate some of the mistakes we made. Even in special teams, some of the field position changes. We have to tackle better. We have to stay on our blocks better. Just the little things that we talk about every week. We still have to build upon those. The fundamentals. If we take care of the fundamentals, take care of the little things, everything else will come into place.
And I'm sure, we talked the last year and a half, and it's always after a big win or a big loss. You just want to refocus and get on to the next. You almost would like to have played already this week. You know what I mean? Because to refocus the kids a little bit more.
Yeah.
So, but this is exciting for St. Joe. They'll be at Stryker, as I said, this week, and then homecoming. Mark your calendars for Sunday, October 12th at 2 p.m. out at Don Paul Stadium. That would be great. Get a big old crowd out there for homecoming.
Yes.
I'm sure you'll probably be here in 2 weeks, so we can talk about that.
That would be great.
And I'll be sitting here right next to you. Josh, anything else you want to talk about tonight? I really just wanted to talk a lot about the win and about this week. So,
well, I couldn't be more proud of our staff, and our kids. I mean, everyone's bought in. Everyone's on the same page. There's no me first attitude. It's everybody's in it to win it, if you will. They're brothers on the field, and I couldn't be more proud of the unity that we have and the direction that we're going.
I could not tell you the last time, and I'm sure you don't know either, that St. Joe was at 4-2 at this point in the season, probably in the 90s, I would imagine.
Perhaps.
Or early 2000s anyway. Yeah.
Sure.
So wonderful, just wonderful. Well, Josh, congratulations.
Thank
Let's
you,
keep
sir.
it going. Let's get all the way to that championship game, right?
That's the plan.
Build some blocks. All right, Josh Waring joining us.
Thank
Next
you.
will be Lakota night here at Frickers. I'm going to be joined by head coach Ryan Lozier and 4 members of the Raider football team here in just a minute. Right now, the Lakota Raiders off to a 3-3 start. I'll be joined, as I said, by head coach Ryan Lozier. Also tonight, Jalen Wagner will be joining me, Avery Schilling, also Gabe Brubaker, and Steve Horniak. So all four of them will be joining us here on Lakota Raider Night. You can watch on YouTube. Just go to the Eagle 99 WFRO YouTube page or go to Facebook and click on our link right there. We'll come back with more Lakota. It's Lakota Night from Frickers at Fremont right here on Eagle 99 WFRO and live on YouTube. Yep, show them some love. I know, it's great. I can sit here and just talk and watch, yeah. Last year I was here when the Guardians were playing the Tigers, so it was a little nerve-wracking, to watch. And yeah, of course they got their butt kicked. And I think Scooball pitched the night I was here.
I'm hoping that Boston wins tonight, because if so, Cleveland gets
The
flex
late-
tomorrow night.
Right, they get to the 7
I
o'clock,
can
right?
actually watch it. Middle of practice, trying to check some
Yeah,
updates.
I'm in study hall with my phone watching,
Stinks.
It does.
I'm a PE teacher though, so we're
Okay.
playing wiffle ball this week in honor of it. So
Okay, there you go.
I got it on my computer too, so I find ways to do
I
it.
can't tell you how many classrooms I walked into today that it was on the big screen.
Can't help it.
Yeah,
man.
I like it because we can wear Guardian stuff to school and I can wear jeans, and I like that.
Can I see that stat sheet?
Yeah, of
I
course you
changed a
can.
couple
Oh, okay.
things on there. I was just gonna move it.
You
for
need a pen?
please.
There you go. There you go.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Behind on my stats this week. Fire me.
The irony is Norwalk, who their teacher does the stats, they don't even submit stats to the.
Funny how that works.
It is funny how that works, isn't it? All right, here we go. And welcome back in to Frickers in Fremont. Kids always eat free here at Frickers. Tonight is, of course, steak night as well. You can get steak and a side for just $9.99. It is Lakota Raider night. We're joined by the head coach, Ryan Lozier. We'll be joined by 4 members of the Lakota football team here in just a little bit. But Ryan, how are you tonight?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. Well, we're at 3-3 right now, but you played a really tough conference schedule. And, of course, you just came off playing Hopewell, who is 6-0 at this point. Before we talk about your team, can I ask you about Hopewell? I saw Margaretta Friday, and they are very fast. And they really did a number against Woodmore and their size. What do you think of that matchup?
I don't know, to be honest with you, because I don't know anything about Margaretta.
Okay, you haven't seen them
yeah,
till
I
week
haven't
9.
Really watched them,
Okay.
But it'll be a good one for sure. Just I do know Margaret obviously has some athletes that can play, but Hopewell's Hopewell, and I can't tell you what's going to go. That'll be a good football game. I'm
That
not sure.
should be a really good one.
Not sure who will win that one, but it'll be a good one.
So you're coming off, well, you've had 3 straight conference games. You started the year 3-0, wins over Elmwood, Arcadia, and Toledo Christian. And then you've fallen to Woodmore, Calvert, and Hopewell. You have Willard coming up this week on the 3rd of October. But tell me about your season so far, Coach, and what your thoughts are in your second year.
We started out high, like you said, 3-0. We were on that high a little bit, and then we hit some rocky water a little bit, and we've kind of experienced both ends. We've been high and we've been low.
Right.
Right now, the best way I can describe it is it feels like we're clawing against the wall, trying to grab some friction and
Okay.
just find our
Makes sense.
feet again.
Okay.
I thought we played well the first few weeks, and then, we get hit with some things that happened, week 4, and we lose guys to injuries and off-field things. And when you do that, you hurt yourself a little bit, obviously. Nothing against the teams we played, but, I think the common theme for us is 1, we're playing good football teams, but 2, we're shooting ourselves in the foot a lot,
Okay.
especially the last 3 weeks. So that's been our focus, is just cleaning up our play and our act. And being a disciplined football team, if we can get back to that and how we were the first 3 weeks, we can win some football games here on the back end. But we just got to keep clawing away and trying to get back in the winning column.
I don't know, though, if the conference has ever been this loaded top to bottom. I don't think it has.
It's
and-
good, and we would like to be in that conversation, but we talk about often we've kind of done this to ourselves, and we're not. But we have a way that we can kind of redeem ourselves and get back on track the last 4 weeks. But like you said, it doesn't get any easier because Willard's not a bad football team.
Right.
Neither is Gibsonburg, Marquette, or Northwood. So, like you said, the conference top to bottom is pretty good. I think the worst record in our league is Willard, who's 2-4, but they're still
Right.
in the Calvert. But neither of them are two bad football teams.
And they're Division 5.
Yeah.
So that's something else. They're a division bigger than what you guys are. So what have you seen in them on film this week,
They're
Willard?
the same old Willard. That they're very athletic. They throw the football around a lot. They're fast. So we just gotta worry about ourselves still, though. I really do believe that, and I preach that to our guys lately. Is until we stop beating ourselves, it's not going to matter who we're playing. And that's been our goal, and I'm hoping we translate that. We've been having great practices, so
Okay.
we just got to translate it back to Friday nights and get back to winning.
Has this week-
Winning fixes a lot of things.
Of
so
course it does.
we're in a.
Well,
and
it's
when you
just-
lose, 3 games in a row, you get to that point where everybody's a little bit on the edge, and
Yeah.
and we just need to get back to winning football and playing and having a little bit of fun. So.
Have the kids been okay in practice this week? Or would you rather see
Yeah,
more?
we have been, and I think a lot of that plays to it. The part of Hopewell last Friday is a good football team, and I really, really believe we played with them for about a half.
Okay.
And it's easy to say that, and I don't like to say it, but it's true.
Right.
If you go back and you watch, there's about 2 plays in my mind, maybe 3, that if you make the correct play in our favor, it's probably a 14-7 game at halftime.
Okay.
We're in the football game.
Right.
But that's how quickly football can change. Is if you make 1 or 2 mistakes early on, it's the difference from competing at halftime and having a chance to win the game and being out of it.
Right.
And we kind of found ourselves in that, but I thought our kids played extremely hard football all night long against them. That's all I asked them last week. We knew the juggernaut we were getting into, so that's all I wanted to see, and our kids did respond to that. So that gives me some positive, outlook to the last 4 games. I think it gives them a little bit because they realize you can play with some of these guys.
Right.
That's half the battle, just getting them to believe they can.
So you're building a program. That's what you're trying to do. And obviously, you look at Hopewell. What makes their program the way it is? Now, I was talking to Josh, and he said his son played in junior high again. They were just massively big. So I'm assuming it's because it's a program from top to bottom.
It is, and it's been built over 10 to 15 years of span. Not only that, they have good football coaches, which I do believe we have. I know we have.
Oh,
our
you got a
program.
great staff,
We have
yes.
a great staff, but it's a program thing, and it's a standard that's set, and it takes time to get to that level. You just don't wake up and be
Right.
where they're at. When you look at teams, good football teams, you're not playing many young guys because you don't have to.
Right.
They have 65 kids. You can choose from a lot of picking there.
Right.
Where other schools, some guys are thrown to the fire pretty quick at a young age, and they're just not ready yet. So I think
Right.
that's a big difference. And you got to credit though Coach Kodge. I mean, his staff and himself. I mean, they have those guys ready to roll week in and week out, and they're always ready to be in their disciplined football group.
Well, you brought 4 players with you today, and I'm going to have you say a little bit about each one, okay? I always like to do that
Yeah.
before they come on
Yep.
and talk. And we're going to do things backwards, but I'll ask you in number order here, okay? We'll talk about Avery Schilling first.
Okay.
Talk about him. Number 2, he's right now got 176 receiving yards on 10 receptions.
Yeah, Avery is our outside threat a little bit. He's been a 4-year starter for us. And he has a good frame, 6'4", athletic kid. He just gives us that ability to spread people out a little bit. Defensively plays corner for us. He played some safety, so he's bounced around. He's played a lot of football in his 4 years, and we're just looking for him to really have an impactful 4 games left here, and then hopefully push it. Week 11 if we can get there.
Get into the playoffs. Jalen Wagner, talk about him. He's your quarterback, thrown for 347, rushed for 243 so far.
Jay's a great kid. I've always liked Jay. He's another one that's just been battled injuries. He missed his whole freshman year with an ACL. His sophomore
Wow.
year, he missed 1 week. He played 10 out of the 11 games, but he missed a week still from, he busted his finger up pretty good, and his nail was all. He had surgery done. But last year he plays 4 weeks and gets hurt, tears his meniscus in his knee week 4. So he missed all of last year, too.
Right.
So he's a kid that is very athletic and will do whatever the team needs him to do. We just got to keep him upright. So that's our goal.
Keep him
here.
on the field.
He's missed, he missed almost the whole game against Woodmore and didn't play much against Calvert. So we just got to keep him on the field. And if so, he's another threat in a lot of positions.
Gabe Brubaker. Boy, he's off to a heck of a start. 59
Gabe.
tackles, man.
Gabe Brubaker is my dad's on our staff, and I love the kid too, but between him and Glenn Owens, like Gabe Brubaker might be their favorite player to ever play football for.
Really? Okay.
And we tell him this all the time. It's not a negative comment to him, but he's not the most athletic kid. But he is a kid that will run through that brick wall for you every single snap. Will do exactly what you ask him to do. And Gabe, I can't ask for much more out of him. I mean, he's been the epitome of what we are trying to build. If I could take 100 of him, I would.
And to have 59 tackles at this point, that's pretty darn good.
Well, and you got to credit that to our linebackers coach, Joe Wyant, who has coached them up. But Gabe does exactly what he's told.
Mm-hmm.
He listens, he takes reps hard in practice, and he makes plays based on his coaching.
He's not out there just Supermaning it out there.
No, he's
just,
not.
Okay,
he wants
good.
to do what you ask him to do. He wants to know how to do it, and it's paying off for him.
And we'll talk about the first guy we're going to bring up here, Steve Horniak. He has 36 tackles on the year so far.
Steve's another kid that he anchors us up front. He's been a three-way starter or 3-year starter and played as a freshman too, though, a lot. So
Okay.
A lot of football under his belt, and he's stepped into the role of being the vocal leader. We needed that. He's a hard worker. Sets the tone in the weight room, and it stinks because all 4 of these guys I lose here at the end of the year.
Yeah.
But when you're trying to build a program, it'd be nice to have them for a couple more.
Right.
But, they're kids that you can't replace. It's hard to replace those guys, but Steve is just the epitome of a leader, and he wants to do right. And if we can follow him, we'll be okay.
All right. Well, Ryan, I'm going to have you back on after the kids.
Okay.
So we'll bring in Steve first. So
Perfect.
come on over, Steve. I'll turn your mic off so you can put that down. We're good. And we'll bring in Steve Horniak, one of the 4 seniors here on the team. There you go, buddy. Have a seat. How are you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. So what was your goals coming into this year?
I think we all just wanted to win. Be a team. Obviously last year wasn't the outcome we wanted. So
Right.
We came in, put the work in, and we're just coming in to win. Have a good season.
So you play on both the offense and defensive
Yes,
line?
yes,
Okay.
sir.
And
Yep.
what are you on offensive line?
I'm offensive guard.
A guard?
Offensive guard and defensive end.
And defensive end? Okay. So 36 tackles for you so far. So you and Gabe are really doing the job. Like
Yeah. Gabe's doing a really good job. Yeah.
between the two of you, you've amassed about 100 tackles so far this year. So you came in, you said you just wanted to win. Obviously, you want to leave this program better than you found it, right?
Yes, sir. Yes.
And so what's it going to take the rest of the year? You still got the 4 games and hopefully a playoff game if you can get in there to Willard, Gibsonburg, Margaretta, Northwood. What's it going to take these last several weeks?
I think we just need to play 4 quarters. Last week we played, those 2 quarters against Hopewell, and I think we were in the game.
Mhm.
That's a good team.
That's a really good team
yeah,
right there.
That's a very good team. They got great athletes, great coaches, and I think we took it to them, but, we fell short few plays, and, they cost us. We should have, scored in that first quarter, but I think we compete with them. I think we could compete with Calvert, and we definitely could have competed with Woodmore. So, I think it's just about playing 4 quarters and, being a team, and these last 4 games are winnable games.
Steve, what do you hope to do after graduation?
I want to go construction management.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Have you
Yep.
started working towards that at this
Yes.
point? Okay.
Take college classes.
But
yes.
that's the way to do it when it's
Yep.
free. I
Yep.
always say. It's a little late now because you're a senior, but any shout outs you want to send?
Just take my family and my team. And
All right, Steve.
thank you very much, sir.
Good luck the rest of the way, okay?
Yep. Thank you.
All right, let me turn that down real quick. All right, Gabe Brubaker is going to be up next. Gabe, as we said, 59 tackles in the year, also 1 sack and 1 fumble recovery as well. So, Gabe, I started with you and Steve. See, I'm doing it different this year, right? And we're just starting with linemen or the higher numbers and going to the lower. See, these guys, they get all the love anyway, right? So, talk about your season, Gabe. 59 tackles so far. Pretty good
Yeah.
start.
Yeah, so not all that credit's going to go to me.
Correct.
It's all the D-line up front, hitting the right gaps. When all 4 of us, all 6 of us are in sync, me, the other linebacker, all the other D linemen,
Mhm.
if we all do our things right, we're going to make plays.
When you hear Coach talk about you, like he said his dad, you're one of the favorite kids he's ever coached.
Really?
What do you think when you hear stuff
Well,
like that?
That's a really great honor. I love, especially Coach Owens. He really brought this defense together this year, and I love the way Coach Dave and Coach Owens, I love the way they coach, and Coach Wyant too.
Do you think Friday night was? I know you lost to Hopewell, but it sounds like you guys played pretty well, at least in that.
Yeah,
Do you think that's your kind of coming together party for the year? That's the best
Yeah.
team you're going to play, probably.
We can learn so much from that game. We got a 4th down stop, and our offense couldn't do much, but that's all right. We kept playing hard on defense and trying to get them stops. So we learned a bunch of stuff from that game.
When you looked at Willard this week, what kind of matchup problems are they going to give you on defense when you're on defense?
Well, really, they're really just a passing team, really. So we just have to make sure we're getting our coverage. Coverage is good, and make sure they don't get us on any fakes or anything, and just drop back to where we need to be in coverage. They're about 70% pass and 30% run.
So it's going to be a long game.
Yeah, if we stop the pass, they probably can't run the ball. We can stop the run for sure.
Awesome. All right, Gabe, what are you doing after graduation, or what do you hope to do?
So I plan to go to UNOH in Lima for some kind of diesel.
What is
technology.
UNOH?
University of Northwestern Ohio. It's
Okay.
in Lima, Ohio.
Okay.
So really good college.
Awesome. And shout-outs? Anybody you want to send a shout-out to, Gabe?
Honestly, I would give a shout out to Coach Owen. Just the defense we have this year. I love the 4-2-5 defense. It's really fun.
All right. Anything else you want to say, Gabe, before we
No, I
go?
think that's good.
Okay, thanks, buddy. I appreciate it. All right, Jalen Wagner is going to be our next guest here on the Coda Night as we're talking to the some of the Raiders seniors here. Jalen is the quarterback leading the team in passing at 347 yards, also rushing for 243 so far. Jalen, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. When you came into the year, what were your individual goals for the year? Obviously, healthy was one of them, I'm assuming.
Stay healthy for sure, but just be better than we were last year, and just kind of come together as a group and hopefully get some more wins.
Do you feel like Friday night was a stepping stone for you guys?
Oh yeah, for sure. I know, like the past couple weeks, we played 2 good quarters, and then the other 2 quarters it wasn't so good. And I feel like Friday we definitely had 4 pretty solid quarters.
So you had to miss time in Woodmore and Calvert, right?
Yeah.
So, but you were able to play with Hopewell, and hopefully you're healthy for the rest of the year. What was your, what were you dealing with? Those.
In the Woodmore game, I took like either a helmet or shoulder pad to the knee, and I felt kind of like a pop.
Okay.
So
But it's not
nothing serious. No.
Okay. So when you look at your team, and you're the quarterback of this team, so you see these guys, and I'm sure, do you like to be a vocal leader?
Yeah, I'd say that's not normally how I am, but being the quarterback, that's kind of how you have to be.
You have to be? Are these guys pretty easy to lead?
Oh yeah, I'd say so. They're great guys.
Have you played quarterback your whole career?
Yeah, I've been playing quarterback since I was probably 6 years old. Maybe.
What led you to be? I mean, everyone wants to be a quarterback, but why did you stick with it?
I'd say, my dad had a big factor. He was a quarterback in high school, so he was kind of like teaching me growing up.
So, anytime you have that quarterback, you just kind of pick his brain a little bit.
Yep.
So, what are you going to do after graduation, Jalen?
I'm just going to go straight into the workforce. I work for Zender Electric right now.
So they've already trained you on all that good stuff?
Yep.
So, your training's already taken care of. So, you're going to earn big stuff when you get out. So.
I sure hope so.
See, these guys are smart. They're a lot smarter than we were in high school, that's for sure. Jalen, anybody you want to shout out?
I'd like to shout out my family, friends, and coaches.
Okay, sounds good. All right, buddy. Thank you. Appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
All right, last stop, Avery Schilling. Last but not least, Avery, 10 receptions, 176 yards already this year. Avery, how are you, buddy?
Good.
How are you doing? Like coming into this this week, how do you feel?
Good.
Okay, body good?
Yeah.
All right. What were your individual goals coming into the year?
Make the playoffs as a team, and then 1,000 yards.
Okay, so the goals are still in front of you, and I see you guys are more of a balanced offense, though, right? You don't like Jalen was talking about them chucking the ball down the field.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you're obviously a much more balanced offense than
For
what you'll
sure.
see with Willard. So it's kind of hard to get 1,000 yards receiving in that type of offense. Talk about your role on the team, though. Obviously, you're the top target along with Lucas. So talk about your role on the team.
I just know when the ball's thrown my way, I'm supposed to make a play. And then defense, normally I'll follow the best receiver, play man coverage most of the game, and then
Are you you're a DB on
yeah.
defense? Oh, you got 2 interceptions as well this year. So
Yeah.
which side do you like playing better, offense or defense?
Probably defense.
And why is that?
feel like I can make a bigger impact on defense than
Okay.
offense.
Is it because you play the receiver position? Like, I mean, you're running your routes, you're blocking, you're doing all that stuff, but you can only impact the game when you're blocking or when it's thrown to you. Is that
Yeah.
why you say that? Where on defense you're always attacking?
Yeah.
So what are your when you see Willard? I mean, they like to throw the ball a lot. Does that get you excited as a DB when
Yeah.
you're out there? I mean, obviously got the 2 picks, so you're hoping for a couple more this week. Well, what do you want to do after graduation?
Go to college and probably try to be a physical trainer or something like that. Yeah.
All right. Well, Avery, anybody you want to shout out?
My mom, my dad, the rest of my family, and then MP.
Okay. All right, Avery. Nice talking to you. All right, we'll bring Coach back in here, Ryan Lozier of the Lakota Raiders here on this Lakota Raider night. And the kids were excellent, as always. I just love how, I know, that's all right. Nobody needs to see me anyway. Anyway, it always strikes me at how, like, if I did that in high school, now I was in high school a long time ago. I didn't have any media training or anything. Like, some of these kids, but they're wonderful. Like, it just, I don't think I could have done that when I was in high school, is my point.
Yeah, they are. They're good kids.
I mean, you did it because you were here. I interviewed you. I remember your senior year actually sitting out there and interviewing you, right?
Yeah.
So, but, I mean, I'm a little older than you, but these kids are just very, well, I could see how you like coaching them.
Yeah, I enjoy
You know,
it.
great personalities. They seem like they all love the program. They want to leave it the better than they found it. You know, like you said, you wish you could have them for more than the 2 years you've had them, but
Yeah, and they're good kids, and they're kind of the building blocks of where we're gonna go, and you wish for those guys that they could experience that when we get to that point, and maybe we do the next 4 weeks, maybe we don't,
Right.
but over time it's gonna come. So
well, if you went out to make the playoffs, that's going to be an experience they'll never, or you make the playoffs.
it'd be awesome. We'll see what
Yes.
happens though.
So,
Gotta worry
1 week at a time.
Yeah, you
I
ain't
know.
kidding. Gotta beat Wheeler.
Us radio guys, we talk about the future
Yeah.
like it's, play 4 games at once. So, well, Ryan, thank you for bringing the kids. And anything else you want to say before heading out of here? I was really enjoyed Steve and Gabe and Jalen and Avery, great kids.
Yeah,
so.
but they're all of our kids are good kids. We give them some tough love, but we do appreciate what they do for us and our program and just working their tails off.
How many seniors do you have, Ryan?
8. So
8 total?
yeah,
Okay.
8 total, and then we got a big junior group and some young guys that are coming along really well too. So it's a process, and just gotta ride the waves and see what happens. But we're getting there, and hopefully we can end, like you said, on a good note and see where we can go with our goals here the next 4 weeks and just see where we fall.
All right, Ryan. Well, best of luck, and we'll talk to you probably here in a couple weeks, okay?
I hope so. Thanks.
All right, Lakota night here at Frickers in Fremont. Kids always eat free at Frickers. It's also steak night. Steak and a side for $9.99. We'll talk Gibsonburg football when we take a timeout and come back to Frickers in Fremont on Eagle 99 and live on YouTube. That's crazy. Oh, I thought we were on, but no, it's just a promo. But yeah, what do you have, about 40 total, freshmen through seniors? Dyer joining us, head football coach at Gibsonburg. I just told him, you know, we were talking off the air about Hopewell and the league and everything, and I said, well, you're the one who wanted to be the varsity coach when you were the junior high coach. A little different, right?
Well, it's a little different.
Yeah, well, you were here last time, and we talked about, obviously, you coached these kids previously in junior high, and this is a job you really wanted. And so right now you're sitting at 4-2, coming off a win over Calvert. So talk about your bounce-back win over Calvert on Friday, 42-6. I'm sure that felt pretty good.
Oh, it did. The kids came out and played hard in the beginning, and we were up big first half. We were up, it was 35-0 first half, and that's even after a quick first drive. You know, we didn't do well first drive. Then after that, we stepped up and had 2 pick sixes. It always helps when your defense scores twice. You know, that makes it easy. So our defense played very, very well that night, had 3 picks on the night, and that just makes your job a lot easier. They couldn't run the ball either, so
And
we
nice,
shut them down offensively.
really nice bounce back after Hopewell.
Yeah.
And then the week before, of course, you opened conference play with Northwood. So you're sitting 2-1 right now. You'll play Woodmore this week. I did learn one thing. I was at Woodmore Friday night, and the way the PA guy talked, I would have thought Gibsonburg was like 100 miles from Elmore. He said, we'll be traveling way down south to Gibson. I'm like, down, like, that's, what, 6 miles? Like
12 minutes.
So, yeah, they think it's like 4 hours, I think. I don't know.
12 minutes.
It's crazy. Anyway, you got Woodmore on Friday night at home. Is that going to be, have you had a homecoming yet?
That's homecoming.
I figured this is the homecoming week. As a coach, most coaches hate homecoming week. What's your thoughts on that?
There's a lot of distractions homecoming week. You know, you got to get the kids focused back on football, and sometimes that's a little difficult. I mean, Powder Puff game was going on as I left.
Ours at Perkins was on Wednesday night this year, too. So, Powder Puff, are they doing the bonfire and all that?
Yep, they're doing that tonight as well. Yep.
So, okay. So, you'll have Woodmore for the homecoming game on Friday. And the rest of the schedule looks like this: at Lakota, home to Willard, and then at Margaretta. So, you're down, you told me off the air you're down to 28 healthy bodies right now.
Correct.
And that's not a lot. And you were telling me Hopewell has like 50 bodies.
Yeah.
It seems like on the sideline. You started with 31?
30. Yes, correct.
31, and you're down to 28. And that's freshmen through seniors?
Correct. Yes.
Okay, so you're playing a JV schedule or not this year?
We've had 3 JV games.
Okay, so you did get some JV games.
So we have some JV games.
See, that's
we
the
can
problem,
squeeze in.
isn't it, with the low numbers, too, is that some of the kids, they don't get the JV time that they
Correct.
need as well. And it's just kind of a trickle-down effect that it hurts because you're not getting as much football as some of these other teams. I mean, I'm sure Hopewell even has a freshman team, I would assume, and they just play bigger teams. So,
Yes.
Well, Coach, Woodmore, they played Margaretta last week. I was doing the game. Coming in, they were 5-0. They have a really good running back. He was rushing for 10 yards a carry. And the one thing in that game, Margaretta had a lot of team speed. I'm sure you've watched the film and were able to kind of negate their size in that game. But when you look at Woodmore and not just that sample size, they're a good football team. What problems are they going to pose for you on Friday night?
It's matchups. You know, they've got a good quarterback. We've got a good quarterback. Lipstraw's pretty good, and Reese is good. So that's one matchup. Then you got Grant Smith versus Landon Rich. There's another running back matchup.
Yep.
They've got 3 pretty good receivers between Seegers and Kaiser. You know, we've got 3 good receivers between, 3 or 4 good receivers between, Foster, Morant, and Rodriguez. So it's going to be a matter of matchups, I think, of who can stop who on defense.
And they're going to be hungry after getting, shut out
Absolutely.
last week by Margaretta in that game, 35-0 was the final in that one. Talk about Grant. He's doing pretty well too. 114 carries, 808, and 12 touchdowns. Not bad. So obviously we got to talk about your offensive line. They're doing a pretty good job up front on your wing T offense, right?
Correct. Yeah, they're starting to move people off the ball, and that helps. And we've got to get to the second level in our double teams and move people around, and we'll be okay.
How many of the kids up front are upperclassmen for you on the line?
There's 2 seniors on the line.
Okay, so you have 2 that are of the 28 healthy bodies on the line there. So at this point, you had the Hopewell loss. I'm assuming you had a really good week of practice last week to bounce back against Calvert, because you don't beat a team like that after having a bad week of practice. So I'm sure last week that was a key. And what about practice this week?
I just have to keep challenging the kids to get a little bit better every day. you know, that's part of the thing with having a smaller team is sometimes complacency sets in if you don't challenge them a little bit. So that's what we're trying to do is just keep them getting better and better and better every day.
What do you do to stay healthy in practice, though? You know what I mean? Do you hit in practice still?
We hit some, but we try to limit contact or
Okay.
go 3/4 speed or half line. I mean, there's different things you can do, but a lot of times they want to hit, but I'm like, we can't hit.
Right.
Sometimes just like, no, we can't hit.
You can't risk it.
No.
Right? Because you just can't get a contact injury,
Nope.
and then that would not be. So you limit the hitting. Obviously, a lot of conditioning, I'm assuming.
Yes.
And making sure kids are where they're supposed to be, lined up properly, and all that good stuff. In your first year as varsity coach, what is the one thing that's happened to you that you would have never thought would have happened this year? There's got to be something strange you never would have thought of that happened to you as the varsity football coach this year. Anything out of the ordinary you never would have thought of?
I didn't know I'd be this tired.
Really? I felt that coaching freshman baseball last year. I didn't
You
think
know?
I'd be tired. You never
I'm
sleep.
like exhausted.
I
You
know.
You sit there and you lay there and like one night my wife was like, "What are you doing?" I said, she goes, "You beat the snot out of me in bed last night." I said, I must have been laying there and trying to block her or something.
Right.
And she goes, "You just can't be." I was like, "I'm sorry." I said, "I promise. I won't sleep. I'll sleep in the chair on Friday nights from now on if we lose." So
I'm surprised you could sleep on Friday
oh,
nights. Is it the
Even when
adrenaline?
you win and lose, it doesn't matter. I mean, that's the hard part is you think about all the things you could have done or should have done or some of the things you did well and didn't do well and as a coach that you just constantly evaluate and reevaluate things to figure out where you can go next.
So do you watch film right away after the game, or do you let it marinate for a day?
I try to let it marinate for today,
Okay.
but if it's up, I watch it.
Okay. There's a lot of coaches I know, they go Friday night and start watching right away. So you try to give yourself a little brain break. I'm surprised you can sleep. I mean, as a broadcaster, it takes me to 1 or 2 just because I have so
yeah.
much adrenaline inside of me from broadcasting. And you as a coach, not just the adrenaline, but you're thinking a million things that you have to do. So
Then we're back in the field house by 7.
right. And it starts all over again.
Yeah, exactly.
When
Bingo.
when you're the junior high coach, you get your weekends off.
Oh, absolutely.
And
That
sometimes on
that's
Friday you
nice.
win on
Yeah.
Thursday. You're like, hey,
Yeah.
no practice on Fridays.
Oh, all you guys are ball boys? All right, good.
yeah,
We're
there
done
we
at 4
go.
today. There
yeah,
you go.
you can't beat that. Well, that's interesting. That you just don't feel like you get any sleep. Well, I could
No.
see that. So, is there anything that's been surprisingly a good thing that you didn't think was going to happen to you?
I think even on our small team, I think some of the young kids are starting to pick up what we're doing and starting to get a little better at it. Even though we're not getting a lot of JV games and we're trying to squeeze them in, sometimes we take 13 kids, but that's better than them not getting experience.
Right.
So we're trying to make sure we play all these games the best we can, and we just got to make sure we're not injured on the varsity level. If we're injured at the varsity level, then some of those JV kids then have to step in to fill the hole for that kid.
Right.
So
And that
that's-
hurts
That's
your
where it's tough.
Yes. And I'm assuming kids are also getting experience on Friday nights most weeks. So I'm looking at your scores. So the Delta was 49-28 game. You lost to them, and they are right now 4-2. That's a Division 5 team. And Hopewell, obviously, is the other lost Division 6. And they are in your region, are they not? No, you're Division
No.
7 this year.
Yes. Yeah, we're
when
7.
did Gibsonburg go to Division 7? It's been a
A couple years ago.
Okay. When I was full time at the radio station, you were always Division 6.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
We'll be 7 for probably from
that's
now
good
on.
though, right?
I don't know.
Well,
It depends.
that's where
Do you want Patrick Henry? Do you want Marion Local? or
yeah,
do you
Marion
want, You
Local.
want Columbus Grove?
Yeah.
Or Hopewell? Just where do you go? There's a lot of good teams in small schools in Northwest Ohio.
Well,
so-
my alma mater made the state championship, Hillsdale, and the final score I think was 70.
77 nothing.
77.
That was last year, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
And they were a good team. I
Yeah.
mean, seriously, they were a
I
good team for
believe it.
them. Yeah, that's crazy though. But there's some stacked teams in these lower
Yes.
divisions that you just don't think about. Yeah. Basketball, it seems. See, football's been 7 divisions forever. Basketball just went to that last year, and they kind of got to experience. Bellevue. They went all the way and won the state championship just because the matchups were a little bit more even. You know what I mean? And you'd think you'd see that in football, but there are just so many good small school programs.
Especially, like I said, Northwest Ohio. A lot of the state champions probably come from this area, but
Right.
being Northwest Ohio or even down to the MAC and the Lima area. I mean, that conference has been unreal too.
We play good football around here,
Yeah,
that's
we
for
do.
sure. So what's it going to take for the Golden Bears to continue their success, get into the playoffs, and hopefully do a little something this year?
We got to make sure the defense stays solid. So we make sure we read our keys, hustle to the ball. We got to make sure that happens all the time. You know, if not, Woodmore's going to make us pay because you know they'll run. Then when you step up to do the run,
They'll
let's draw throw ball over your head. Then you're going to
And he throws a nice little deep ball.
Yes, he does.
He does. I saw
Yes,
that.
he does. So
That Seeger kid made a really good one-handed catch last week.
Yeah.
So
yeah, Seeger. Yep, they're all pretty good at that. So, and then offensively, we just got to keep moving people off the ball. You know, I got to find a better way to get us better off a first down.
what do you mean by that, Shane?
By not getting us in first and long.
Okay, so you want to be
So I
more
want to be
second
ahead
and
of-
manageable.
Yeah, I want to be second and manageable,
Okay.
second and short. So you know, if they're going to stack up on the run, I've got to make sure that we figure out ways to either get outside if they're going to stack the middle, or find a way to throw that ball and get it to whoever we need to in a high percentage pass.
And that's the thing with the wing T. You can actually hit people multiple ways. You know, you got the dive, you got the outside, and a little pop pass. So, what defense do you run? I know we've talked about your offense, Shane. What defense do you run?
4-2-5.
4-2-5. Okay. So you have the 5 DBs, which in this day and age you almost have to because everyone's in the spread anyway. So I've seen quite a bit of I formation this year for some teams. So it's kind of gone
like it's
old
coming
school.
back,
Yeah, I
yeah.
like it.
Yeah.
It sounds old school, but that's like our childhood football was I for. I saw a Maryland eye this, a 3-back eye this year too.
Yeah,
which is-
they'll even do the pistol sometimes where they
Yeah.
line up right behind them.
Right.
They want to go shot, that's fine. They just
So-
stick them behind them.
Yeah, Woodmore, they use quite a few multiple formations. I did notice watching them on Friday night. Then you'll be at Lakota, home to Willard, at Margaretta. So that's the schedule the rest of the way for Coach Dyer. And do we know when Gibsonburg night's going to be? Have we decided that?
Have not.
Okay.
No.
All right. Well,
You
hopefully
guys
we'll.
let me know.
Okay. Well, that's not my job. I'm not. I'm just here as the guy who talks now. I'm not in charge. So, all right. Anything else, Shane? You want to talk about here tonight?
No, sir. Hopefully those Bears will come out fighting Friday night. So
Well, good luck. You'll be home, and of course, I feel bad for Woodmore. They got the really long road trip south to play you on Friday night.
12 minutes. They better get one of those Greyhound buses to make that trip.
My gosh, one of those sponsored buses. So, all right, we're going to take a break. We'll come back and talk Fremont Ross football. We've been talking with Shane Dyer, head coach of Gibsonburg. We're live at Frickers in Fremont. There is a ton of here. That's okay. I just got done with Shane.
Talking football with one of the junior guys.
That's all right. You're allowed to do that as the head coach. Buddy, I don't know what was going on with ScoreStream last week, but
Oh, someone said
In Fremont, and it is 8 o'clock. You're listening to WFRO Fremont Sandusky. It's our high school football coaches show. Time to talk Fremont Ross football. Boston, by the way, winning 4-3 in the top of the 7th.
3-3.
Oh, wow. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Dang it.
You need to get those glasses
Well,
checked.
I want the Yankees to lose because nobody likes the Yankees, but also I want the Guardians to slip into 7 o'clock tomorrow night. It's getting hard to watch it at school, while school's in session, and then you got to drive home, and then you miss. Yeah, so
You know why everyone likes the Yankees, right?
because they win.
Well, they can't get their eyes off the pinstripes.
That's why.
Yeah.
You seriously think that?
Yeah. That's what I heard.
Okay.
I'm going to go with it.
All right. Chad Long joining me, Fremont Ross head football coach, coming off a 41-0 win over Scott, and our very own Scott Logan, almost had a heart attack, Chad, on Friday night. He was looking at score stream. He's like, what is going on? What is going on? They're losing. They're losing. And then it was just a bad score. So he had a heart attack right in front of me.
I would have.
I resuscitated him and brought him back to life. And now he's fine. He just texted me, so I know he's still alive. But talk about your win on Friday over Toledo Scott, 41-0.
I don't know. We were able to run the ball. Talon Brown's getting healthy. I think he had 75, 80 yards rushing and a touchdown. I like some of the offensive sets we were getting in. We were able to showcase Jackson Mackey off. I think he had 7 receptions and a touchdown, a 2-point conversion, and so forth. So we're finding ways to get some of the players the ball. And, it's – yeah, Scott was good, but, they always have good athletes. But typical inner-city school, just not fundamentally.
Is that a 4-year contract?
No, so
That was the end of it then?
Yeah, it's going to be because we're contracted. The NLO is we contract through Toledo City Schools. So
Okay.
The last 2 years we played Waite, and then this year we played Scott.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about
But it gets confusing. Liberty Benton comes into our conference next year.
So they'll take that Scott spot?
So, somewhere it gets recalibrated and all that stuff. So,
Okay.
But no Scott, no Toledo City Schools next year because Liberty Benton comes in.
Well, that'll be good, though, right? You'll have 5 conference games next year
Yeah.
instead
Yeah.
of 4,
Yeah.
which is weird. You're going into week 7, and you're starting conference play.
I know, right?
Like, you're 0-0 in conference. You're
Yeah.
3-3 overall, but you'll play Southview this week,
Yeah.
Springfield. Both those are road games. Then you're home to Napoleon. And
Which
then
is our homecoming.
that's homecoming on
Yeah.
the 17th,
Yeah.
week 9,
Yeah.
which is it's more normal now than it used to be because of the
Yeah.
way the season starts so early and then home to Bowling Green.
Yeah.
But how do you feel now that you're into conference play? You got through the gauntlet of, Sandusky, Perrysburg, Whitmer, and Findlay, 3 Division I teams, a Division II team. How do you feel overall heading into conference play?
We're getting healthy. I mean, the hardest part is mentally and physically staying positive and coming out healthy when you play the 3 big schools like
Right.
that. And that's something that's been addressed by us coaches in the Cardinal Division. Can we not have all 3 of them in a row?
Yeah. Well, the
and
same thing happened when you were in conference play. You used to play Whitmer
Yeah.
back
Central.
to back with Central,
Yeah.
like week 9 and 10, and
yeah.
it just was crazy. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah. So I don't know. We're 3-3 right now, and we have a pretty good Southview team. The record doesn't really do justice of what kind of football they're playing. They're in most of the games, and it's just, they don't know how to win yet.
And you don't want to teach them this week.
Yes, correct. Yeah, we definitely don't want to teach them this week. Last year, they had a pretty good team. We were able to beat them over there, and it was a very close game at the end.
You went over there last year?
Yeah, we were over there, and we're over there again.
Okay.
And, we'll be ready to play.
And then at Springfield, and then the 2 home games, Napoleon and Bowling Green. So looking at the records of the teams coming out of non-conference, so Southview 1-5, Springfield's 3-3, Napoleon 4-2, and Bowling Green 1-5, and you're 3-3. So you're all in the same situation because you all played these bigger schools, and now you're going to see who's the best of the best, and hopefully who survives. If you can run the table, though, I was looking at your and I know you don't like talk playoffs yet, but if you can run the table here, you got a really good shot.
I just want to be 4-3.
I know you do.
Just 4-3, and then we'll go from there.
And then go from there.
Yeah.
And then 5-3, 6-3, 7-3.
Sure.
I get that.
Sure.
Southview. So you said they're in every game. Are they big? They fast? What do
You-
they do?
You know what? It's a different team. I've covered or seen Southview play for like the last 24 years, and you know they're going to be physical. They lack size up front, but they're still going to be physical. This is the first year I can say in a long time that they're small up front, but they're physical.
Okay.
But they're small. And what happens when you jump up and play the bigger schools, they get bullied real fast. Even it doesn't matter with the physicality because size over matter
Right.
is the key.
Right.
And they have really good skill. So they do some really good things on their offense. I think their offense is better than, I think their defense is better than their offense.
Okay.
And I'd say that's probably the same with us as well.
Have they played a conference game last week?
Trying to think of who they played last week.
Because you
I'm drawing a
didn't,
blank.
but so there had to be one conference game because there's 5 teams. You understand what I'm saying here?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I think they played Napoleon.
Okay, so they lost to
Yeah,
Napoleon.
they played
last-
Napoleon.
Okay.
That's who they played.
Okay.
I was drawing a blank there, but yeah, they played Napoleon.
And then Springfield played BG, I'm assuming, last week as well.
yeah, and that was a really close game.
Okay.
So yeah,
And Springfield won. Do we know if they
Yes.
have the blue turf yet?
I don't know.
You haven't
I haven't
seen-
been there yet.
okay.
So I still have
I'm really
nightmares
curious
when I think
Oh,
of
don't talk about that. That
going
was
to Springfield.
Yeah,
So
that was an awful night.
yeah.
That was my first game as
Oh, entertaining.
the
to say the
play-by-play
less.
voice of the
Say the
Little
less.
Giants. Yeah, that was a weird night. We'll leave it at that. Homecoming, you said, on the 17th and on the 24th. So you're talking about getting healthy, getting the kids back to 100%, which after you play 3 Division I teams in a row. How did that conversation go? You said you've approached them about not doing that. Were they receptive to hearing what you were saying, that you don't want to play these people back to back to back?
Well, we as coaches all came to agreement that it can't happen. We got to go.
Now,
every
are they
other.
also the other coaches? Like the
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
So
the bigs.
Perrysburg and
So-
okay.
So with Liberty Benton, what's nice is having Liberty Benton come in.
Mhm.
Okay, so ideally, like we want, and this last fall or last spring we had a head coaches meeting with the ADs and everything else, and we talked about 3 games in a row is not good, and we vowed let's take a vote and say let's do 2 crossover big games. Give us a week 3 that's open that we can find whoever we want,
Okay.
and then we go into conference play. So ideally, that's what we're planning on doing
For next year.
for next year, which means we'll still play Perrysburg and Whitmer, since we're technically not the top 2 biggest schools, but for some reason we're still playing Perrysburg and Whitmer.
Where
I
do you
don't know.
fall in terms of size in this league?
Size-wise, when we go next year, well, it's weird because Clay jumps back and forth. Northview is bigger than us, so it goes Clay, Springfield, then us, then I would say Bowling Green, and then did I
South?
and then no Southview is bigger than us. So
Okay.
so it goes Southview, like right now it's Southview, Springfield, us, Bowling Green, then
And Napoleon?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I don't know. I don't know how we still get stuck playing the 2 bigger schools when we're the 3rd biggest in the Cardinal division. But
It's fun-
it is what it is.
It's weird though that Napoleon is the smallest team, Division 4,
Yeah.
and yet they're 4-2.
They're tough. It's a great program. They do a great job there. They have Old Farm boys that are physical and will play smash mouth football there.
Do you miss playing Clay? Because that's all. It was a good matchup for you guys. You always,
It was always a great
Yeah.
game. It kind of stings because we felt that we could have, minus the touchdown to fumble in the end zone and in the opening kickoff, they recovering and scoring. I mean, I think we lost 35-28, I think, against them. We had our opportunities, and we lost that. I mean, we could have had a conference title last year.
That's obviously the number 1 goal this year.
Yeah, conference title and make the playoffs. So
So when they reseed everything, it's still going to remain the two divisions, right, in the
Yeah.
conference?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So we just added Liberty Benton, which kicks out the Toledo City schools.
Do you ever miss going to our favorite place, Lima?
Yeah, no, not really. I don't care for that drive. But no, they're in the Toledo City.
Right, which
They're
is weird.
fighting to try getting in, and that's a possibility of them in the future. I know we have entertained it as the ADs and
Is
stuff
it the
like that.
drive that people are not
I don't know. It's
wanting?
just right down 75. Yeah, I mean, it's down there, but it's 75.
Right.
You know, and they're a D2 school.
Oh, they're
So,
D2. Okay, I was going to
yeah.
look up.
Yeah, they're D2, Region 5, I think.
Okay.
I think Region 5. Maybe they're Region 7.
They're not 5. That's Cleveland, so let's
Try
try
7.
7 here. That's Ashland. That's probably got them in there. No, they're not there either. Anyway, that Ashland team, I saw them a couple weeks
Oh,
ago.
yeah.
They're
They got
really-
that quarterback.
Yeah,
that's-
he's going to Grambling State. Or is it Grambling?
There's no way he's going to Grambling.
That's what they said.
No, he'd be bigger than that.
I'm
he's a
telling
big
you, that's
kid.
what they
he's
said.
like 6'6" or something
Right.
like that and can sling it. I can't imagine.
I'm telling you, Chad, what they
Really?
told me. That's what I was told.
My coach, Cordell Wyatt, is from Ashland. I'm going to have to ask him.
Okay,
now.
that's
I'll-
what I
I'll
was
have
told.
to text and let you know.
Because
on
I thought that was strange, too. And the kid can sling it. I mean, he's 6'6". He's a legit 6'6". He's not a great runner, but he can get out of the pocket and make yards.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he reminds me of a 80s NFL pro-style quarterback.
Yeah.
That's kind of what he reminds
Okay.
me of. So, anyway, do you know how Lima's – like, I know when you stopped playing them, they kind of got good for a while there, or they won the City League at one point, but that was a couple years ago. But
I know Finley played them, and it was a pretty close game. I know they're doing fairly good. They're all spread. I don't even know if they have a running back that's in the backfield. They just kind of spread it out and sling it around.
chuck it all over the place.
So, but I mean, I wouldn't mind having them.
It beat playing Perrysburg, Whitmer, and Finley back to back to back.
Yeah, I mean, it ain't gonna bother us. I mean, we have Liberty Benton in there. Even if we brought in Lima Senior, and if they're smaller than us, it still ain't gonna bump us out of the Cardinal division.
Right. What division's Liberty Benton? Did you say? Full.
Oh, they're like 4 or 5.
I think they're 4.
Are they?
Yeah,
they're
that's what I
either
was
4
thinking.
or 5. But it's a great program. I think they got some of Findlay High School players because of all the levy issues and things like that.
I
And-
swear they used to be in the league with Napoleon.
And Garlock, yeah, they were, I
Okay.
believe. And Garlock is the head coach there, and he's a good coach and has done a lot of really good things there.
How are their facilities over there? Do you not know? Do they play at the college by any chance?
No, they
Okay.
don't play at the college. They play at their stadium, and I think it's pretty nice. I don't know. I haven't been there in a very long time, so.
We never talked about it last year, but Don Paul was the site of the 8-man championship game last year.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you heard, but St. Joe had a huge win
Oh, it
over
was amazing. I was just talking to
We talked
Coach
to
about
Josh,
that,
yeah.
and it's awesome. They deserve it. It's a great program. Those coaches work really hard there, and 2 of the guys used to be on our staff, Scott Nicely and
Okay,
Greg
yeah.
Vassar. They're
Mhm.
there at St. Joe, so yeah, it's great. It's nice to see both schools doing pretty good.
Yeah,
so.
like I was telling Josh when he was on the show, I was like, I can't remember St. Joe being 4-2. Like
Yeah.
it's been probably the late '90s, early 2000s.
Probably when Kyle Caden was there.
Yeah.
So in the 90, it would have been 96 season.
So-
They had a winning season.
'Cause-
I bet you they have since then.
When I started, they were normally around 5-5.
Yeah.
They were good. They had the big quarterbacks. I can't remember the brothers' names, but you actually had one
The
too.
Drews Box?
Yes.
Is that where you're Todd? And
No, not Drews Bach. One of the brothers played at Fremont, and 2 of them played at St. Joe. And this is going to drive me crazy because it's been so many years ago. But anyway, they were both quarterbacks. They were both really tall. They were like-
Kaisers.
Kaisers, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Russ coaches freshman
Okay.
for us.
Thank you.
So,
for
yeah.
Now I won't have a sleepless night trying to figure that out. But that's been quite a few years ago when they were there.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
I think my first year they were 5-5, and that's about the best record I remember.
Hmm.
So, but like you said, it's nice. They haven't. St. Mary's is really good. They're
Yeah,
like
they're-
the pinnacle of 8-man right now.
You don't know
so.
if they were trying to overlook or anything like that, but you know what? St. Joe got some good football players and a good staff, and They're doing a really good job over there.
So how are your seniors keeping this team together? And are you happy with them right now?
I think they're playing well. I think they're leading by example, and there's always things that we could always get them to do better. But overall, it's a positive attitude, and we're playing together as a team right now.
Well, I know you're looking forward to the next 4 weeks. It's hard to believe that you have to get through the 6 weeks of non-conference to get to the meat of your schedule, but
Yeah.
it's going to be fun the next 4 weeks.
How
that's for
about
sure.
the weather? It's been amazing.
Oh my God! Today it was 70. I'm sure at practice it was
Well,
beautiful.
Like last year, we didn't have on a Friday. There was never a cold game.
Yeah.
Even in
I
the
wore shorts
playoff.
almost every week.
Even
yes.
in the playoff.
Now I think about it, yeah.
When we played Medina Highland, it was
pretty
not
nice.
a cold game. It was,
Yeah.
it was a nice game, and I feel like it's the same as last year, and I'm okay with that.
You like the warmer nights?
I do. I don't know if the kids like it, but I do.
So I got to ask you a question about something else since you're the head coach of Fremont Ross. So Jay was in here earlier.
Oh, Mr. Fremont?
Mr. Fremont, yes. And he was telling Josh and I that he's not only Mr. Fremont. Josh, will you back me up on this? He also said he was Mr. Clyde and where else? Mr. Gibsonburg.
Mr. Gibsonburg. Jay just told me, his birthday. You missed it. It was
I
last
missed
week.
it. Oh, my gosh. I
Okay.
was so sad about that.
So, yeah, he has a shirt I see that I gave him for his birthday that he's carrying around. I go, well, Jay, why don't you put that on? He goes, I can't put it on. I got too many shirts I got to put on. I go, okay, Jay. I appreciate that. But, no, he is Mr. Everything. He's like Bo Jackson.
Yeah.
You
Bo
know,
knows.
Bo knows.
Jay knows.
Jay knows.
Jay knows everybody.
everything. He can tell you
Well, he knows
scores and
everybody.
everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Well, I don't think he's going to your game this week, so he's cheating
He's
on you
not.
this week. No.
yeah, he is.
He's going to Gibsonburg, I think
Yep.
he told me.
Yeah, that's what he
so.
told me. Yeah.
So you're okay with that? That
Yeah.
was my question,
You got to share the love
Okay.
of Jay.
He's so much, we just got to share Jay with everybody. Everybody out there.
He's a social butterfly.
He sure is. That's for sure. He was telling Josh and I that his brother John, who
Yep.
you remember, he
Yep.
was
Yep,
on
he's
this
in
station.
Michigan.
Yep.
Yeah, I've
He
known
would-
John for a long time.
He was telling me that he's mad at John just because the Tigers won.
Yeah.
Because John's a big, Guardians or Indians
Yeah.
fan. So
Not
yeah.
today, though.
Not today. What do you
No.
think about tomorrow? You think they're going to pull it out?
Sometimes you go with a hot hand, right? And the bats are, I don't know. Detroit played pretty well.
They had
They
7
left
hits.
a lot of
Yeah.
guys on,
They
on
had
the
2
bond,
runs
so,
called back.
Yeah.
The one that crossed the plate on the tag at third with Hosey, and then in the first inning, that one got called back
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, there's a lot of guys they left out there. So, but Cleveland came with some clutch hits when needed, and
Yep.
the 3-run homer put the dagger in it.
Bybee, I thought, pitched really well until I don't know why. He lost. I was looking at his numbers in the fourth. I'm like, he's going to the 7th. And I shouldn't have thought it, but something happened at that point. He started walking everybody, and that was a problem. But him and Gavin pitched pretty well in the first 2
You
games. That
know-
Gavin Williams has really come on. So
The Guardians, they always catch fire at about this time, and they usually get by the first series, and then they run
into somebody.
Yeah, they run into someone
let's
who
just
has
hope
bats
these
and pitching.
Yankees lose, and it won't be them anyway.
Yeah,
But we'd
yeah.
have to play Seattle next anyway, and then the Yankee.
Right.
The winner of this series plays the Blue Jays.
Yep.
So it'll be all AL East teams. So I should have asked you, though, before I said that. You are a Guardians fan, right? Not a Tiger fan?
I'm
Are-
a Tigers fan.
Oh, you are?
But I do root for the Guardians, though. So, I mean, I don't
Okay.
brag or.
You're not like Scott Logan,
No, I'm not like Scott Logan.
who
but
literally
I
just said, go Tigers?
I am a Tigers fan since Cecil Fielder back in the day. So,
Oh, really? That
So,
go
yeah.
way back.
yeah. So,
Cecil Fielder.
but.
Is that
or
your all-time
Cecil.
favorite?
Uh,
was Cecil, but
no.
yeah.
I like Ordonez.
Okay.
So, and yeah, I would say, yeah, he's probably my favorite.
This one's going to shock you. Mine is Andre Thornton for the Indians.
Oh,
Back in the
really?
day, like he was the best player for every year. Well, when
How
I was
can you go against Jim Tomei?
okay, hold on.
or
I grew
Sandy
up. I'm
Alomar?
older than you, right?
Yeah.
I grew up with the horrible 70s and 80s,
Yeah.
and he was by far our best player. And he was in the All-Star game every year. And he was good, but he was on a really crappy team. So
Manny
that's just my job. I
Ramirez,
know,
they had 'em
but that's
all.
cheating. I was been in, I'd been in my 30s by then. So
Yeah.
so that's
Yeah.
cheating.
Yeah.
So I understand. All right, Chad, let's get 4 wins, and that'll be great.
Yep.
But 1 week at a time.
1 week at
We'll
a time.
start with Southview this week, Springfield in 2 weeks. So
Yep.
And the next 4 games will be right here on Eagle 99. How was that press box, by the way? I was just wondering.
I didn't have to go up.
No,
there,
no.
but-
Was it small or what? At Toledo
oh,
Scott?
oh yeah, it was definitely small.
Okay.
Some of the guys had to be up on top. I think we put the camera people up on
Okay.
top, and 2 coaches. Thank God we had 1 offense, 1 defense in there, and they were in this little tiny
Right.
box.
They told us we'd pretty much be in the stands, I guess, if we were going to
I,
go.
I will tell you, there's a lot of strategies. When you go to the one side of the field, when you score, you go for 2, because if you kick it, it'll go into someone's backyard, and you're never going to see the football again.
Really?
So it's
they
like
tell you?
No, they don't tell you, but that's what you do.
Okay.
I just assume that's what everyone does.
Okay.
That's why we went for 2 so much on,
Never
on
had
the
thought
one
about
side of the field than the other. We only kicked once going the other way, but we scored all the other touchdowns where we had to go for 2.
So they have a lot of footballs in their backyard from opposing.
If they kick it, because literally there's like 5 yards maybe from the field goal
Wow.
to
That's crazy.
yeah.
So it's like the Sandlot
yeah.
for baseball.
The band there for Scott was amazing.
Really?
Oh, they were so entertaining.
You had
But-
fun then.
It was nice. Yeah.
Well, it's
Yeah, it
always
was
nice to win and have a good time doing it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Well, good luck this week, Chad.
Thank you.
And, of course, you'll hear that game right here on Eagle 99. All right, I'll let you go. Wrap
right,
things
buddy.
up. Thanks,
See ya.
buddy. All right, Chad Long, head coach of the Little Giants. Let's thank all of our guests here tonight. Shane Dyer, head coach of Gibsonburg. Ryan Lozier, want to thank him and the Lakota Raiders who joined me on the show tonight. And then, of course, Josh Waring after the big St. Joe win on Saturday night. Next week, Nick will be back with you here at Frickers in Fremont. Next week will be Woodmore night. So Coach Staker and the Woodmore Wildcats will be here next Wednesday night at Frickers in Fremont with Nick Roth. All right. I think that's going to do it here tonight. Thank you for joining us at Frickers in Fremont. Another great show. Friday night, I told you, we have Ross and Southview on Eagle 99 on 92 on the Wolf. It'll be Clyde hosting the Edison Chargers on Friday nights. For Josh Frederick here, running our video for Aiden Klein back at the studios of Eagle 99. My name is Kyle Knight saying so long from Frickers in Fremont, and we'll talk to you Friday night on the BAS Sports Network.